Dear ones, before we discuss the energies of November, I wish to share with you a brief update on the timelines that are currently running on planet Earth and in your galaxy. There are currently three main timelines that are running. One is what I will call the illusion timeline, which includes what you see occurring in the global stage, the war activity, the distraction that is being attempted to put humans into fear so that they can be more easily controlled through their minds and through their emotions. There is a timeline I will call the status quo. There are many people who are not involved in the war or who are paying much attention, who are going on with their life, but sort of in a subdued state. Some might use the word zombie, although this has many other connotations. So I will say status quo because this describes a sort of going along with life, but not being fully present to what is happening in them, what is happening on the planet, what is happening on the global stage. They are not paying much attention to anything, but getting through each day and doing life. For them, they don't perceive that much has changed in their world. And then there is a third timeline where humans are transcending. They are seeing through the theater on the global stage. They are living their lives. They are very much alive in their bodies and beings. They are growing, they are changing, they are evolving, they are awakening. And there are many subcategories to this timeline because some humans in this timeline are at very different frequencies. Some are vibrating very quickly, some more slowly, but the overall theme is that they are awakening, they are transcending. Currently, these three timelines are roughly even in percentages. And so what we would like to see happen is the Transcension timeline gain more momentum, gain more souls. This channel is asking, what is the way to achieve this? Part of this will come through people observing the global theater. Part of this will come through their own personal awakenings as the heightened energies continue to flood planet Earth. And part of this happens when each of you who are carrying the torch, so to speak, share your templates, your energies, your wisdom, your words, the energy signatures and codes that come through your eyes when you smile at someone. All of these things make a difference, dear ones. And so while we have spoken briefly about the new Earth and the old matrix. And in many perceptions and in many teachings, there are two Earths, or the Earth splits into two. What you are experiencing now is the in-between stage, or a purgatory of sorts, where you are at a tipping point, but the tipping point is holding somewhat steady for this moment before you move more fully into the new Earth frequencies. Every soul, regardless of what timeline they are currently traveling, has the opportunity to move to the timeline of transcending. And so opportunities will continue to be given to these souls until a greater tipping point can be achieved, where you will then move as a collective into the new Earth frequency. Keep in mind, dear ones, that these timelines are always fluctuating. Things are always moving and changing. Things are in divine order and going in the correct direction. I'm simply giving you a snapshot of what is occurring now so that you can have an understanding of how to use your energy.
Thank you, Prime Creator. I have a question. You're saying that the timelines are roughly divided into thirds. So is the plan for us to stay in a holding pattern until more and more people come, that there's a majority that goes into the transformational timeline or the transcending timeline?
Thank you, dear one. Yes, you could call it either transformational or transcending. Both are accurate. Yes, in a certain way of understanding. Now, this holding pattern, I will further clarify for those of you who are transcending and growing, and to some degree, all souls are, regardless of what timeline they are on. You do not need to be in a personal holding pattern. So there is no need to hold space, so to speak, for other souls who have not yet come to the transcending timeline. You can grow, you can evolve at exponential rates. You do not need to slow down your growth, nor should you, for the benefit of any other soul. Your task, your mission, if you accept it, is to continue exponential growth and evolution, to continue your awakening path and journey. So when I say holding pattern, I do not want you to think that this applies to you personally in any way. You do not need to stay in a holding pattern. None of you need to stay in a holding pattern. It is the opposite, in fact. But when I refer to holding pattern, I am speaking of the stability that is provided by this third timeline of people in the middle who are in a somewhat suppressed state. It is providing some stability for the transition you are experiencing on the planet right now. It may be an uncomfortable stability for some because you wish for growth for the collective and for the planet. But for others, it is very important to have a slower pace of transition so that they can stay in sound mind and body. Does this make sense, dear one?
Yes, but I wasn't quite clear about the people in the middle. So are the people on the transformational timeline on hold till more of the middle comes there so that then we can all move together to New Earth?
No, this is difficult to understand because of the way humans perceive time and work with time, because of the way you perceive density and work with density, it may seem like having this third timeline will slow you down or hold you up in some way. But no, you as individuals, or if you come together in communities or groups to do this, you can absolutely transcend and experience the new earth here and now. It will be different than when everyone on the planet is experiencing new earth, but you can have your own personal experience of new earth. And then what you will be doing is weaving in and out of density. You will be walking amidst the density, but you will not be part of it. You will be interacting with people who are experiencing the density, but you will not be experiencing the density. Some people will barely even see you or acknowledge you because your frequency will be so different from theirs. And that is okay. Your job is to embody the highest frequency possible. The theme for the energies of November, for those of you on the Transcending timeline, is alignment. Aligning, 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 new things aligning, new opportunities aligning. In the past months, many new opportunities and portals have opened, and now there will be aligning for things to come more into physical and practical reality. The things you have been focusing on in the past few months, now those energies will be aligning for you. And so if you have been focused on something very specific, that will now come into alignment. And so this comes with a responsibility and a caution that if you have been focusing on something that you do not want, you must quickly shift, dear ones, so that those energetics do not align for you and come into your physical reality. This is very doable, and there is no judgment or no heaviness with what I am saying here. It is simply an awareness that if you have been creating something that you actually do not wish for, you can put your focus on what you do want so that it can align for you. For those in the illusion timeline, they will see much more illusion. It will be a very confusing time for these souls or these humans. The souls understand, but the humans do not yet. For those in the status quo timeline, many of these people will be shaken up, and there will be a greater awakening with these people. They will, to some extent, start to see more of what is happening, both in the illusion timeline and in their opportunity to transcend. And so this is very good news, as there will be great opportunity for mass awakening in November. The shadow forces will continue to attempt to create more confusion, more illusion. But many of you listening to me now understand that that is their role that they play, and they have no power over you unless you allow it. What I would invite you to do, dear ones, to flow with these energies of aligning, is to become as clear as possible with your desires, what you want to create, and to exercise discipline with your focus. To exercise discipline with your emotional bodies, to practice self-regulation, to not go into reactivity. And if you do go into fight, fright, or flight, to come back to God, to ground to the core of the new earth, to come back to your center as quickly as possible. And if you do not yet know how to do this, it is imperative that you discover what this means for you, dear ones, as each person has a different method. The same methods do not work for everyone. So you each as individuals need to find what works for you to come back to center quickly, to be grounded, how you cultivate your own personal connection to God. All of these things are very important right now and will become even of greater importance as we move forward into the transition. It is also important to find ways to enjoy your life. I understand that what I am saying sounds and feels very serious. And while this is true, there is also the balance of all things and joy, enjoyment of your life is important. What makes you happy? What can you celebrate about yourself and about your life? With whom can you connect to share these joys and celebrations? Yes, the discipline is very important, and it is equally important to be disciplined in finding your joy and to remind yourself of your joys in your life. To look within yourself for your joy and your peace, to look around you and to highlight where there are joyful people or events or circumstances. To look around you and see what and whom you can celebrate. Be happy for the victories of other people. Celebrate your own personal victories. This way of navigating is not being selfish, dear ones. This way of navigating is amplifying the joy on this planet. It is creating more of it. And that is what is needed for humanity and for your current transition. So if you are happy most of the time, there is nothing wrong with you. Allow that. Stay away from drama. Notice any addictions, habits, or patterns within yourself of being drawn to drama. Stay away from toxic relationships. Notice where you might be bringing toxicity into a relationship. And if you are exchanging toxicity with a friend or a partner or a family member, it is up to you to change it, dear ones. You do not need to engage with toxicity in any form. And lastly, I will invite you to pay attention to your inner child. Your inner child may be especially loud during these times. Any inner child issue will be coming to the surface because there is a destabilization of the old matrix. And so any security issues, money or lack issues, sexuality issues, anything that impacted you as a child that caused trauma or created a trauma pattern within you, this will now be exposed at a much greater depth. And so love on your inner child, support him, hold her, pay attention, be there for your inner child, learn how to be a parent to your inner child, and allow him or her to express his or her joys, his or her voice, his or her wisdom. Give your inner child a voice.
As they try to scare the people again with a virus, would that be a part that more people resist and wake up?
Yes, dear one. This is definitely a potential where more people will see through the illusion. And especially as this is something that has already been executed from their playbook, more voices are speaking out about what this really is, the role it is meant to play in humanity. More and more doctors, more activists, more voices are speaking up about this. And so, because there is already some understanding about their playbook and how they are executing these things, more people have awareness about what is going on. And this, in addition with the extra voices that are now speaking up, is creating a wave of awakening in the humans. Thank you for this question, dear one.
I have a question as well, Prime Creator. Based on what you were saying, that there would be, building on the last question, and based on what you said earlier, that there would be mass awakening opportunities, does that mean we can expect to see more volatile things happening in November? Is there any more you can share about your perspective on that?
Yes, there are many possibilities for what they may try to execute. I will not go into extensive detail because this is not where the focus is meant to be. Simply have the knowing that they may try various things with your money systems, with viruses, with wars and things of this nature. Always have that knowing that those things could unfold, but do not bring your energy to them. If you feel guided in certain ways to make certain preparations, then follow your intuitions. But do not focus on this as your main focus. I will end this transmission by sharing with humanity how much love there is available to you from the higher realms, from other humans, if you are open and receptive and looking for it. You are greatly loved and cherished. I know that there are times where you are feeling hopeless or exhausted or perhaps confused about what you are doing here, what contribution you are making, perhaps, or what your mission is. But dear ones, I am here to tell you that you are so deeply and greatly loved. You are so cherished. You are celebrated. Those beings in other realms that assist you do not always understand what you are going through. They do not understand the density that you must navigate as humans on planet Earth. But they do understand the light of your soul. They do understand that each and every one of you is here on a mission. They do understand the importance of the roles that each one of you play. And they love you. They care about your well-being. There is an indescribable love that comes from God that is available to each one of your hearts, each one of your beings. There is an indescribable love that comes to you from Jesus and the Christ frequencies. In this moment, dear ones, can you open your hearts to receive this love? Are you willing to be bathed in the love of God, in the love of Source Light, in the love of the Christ? How deeply can you open your hearts? How wide can you open your hearts? How much can you know that you are loved? I invite you to meditate with this, dear ones, and I thank you. I really kind of don't want to speak because there's so much beauty in what Prime Creator just brought to us. I hope you can feel what I'm feeling. Just this beautiful love washing over me and over the planet. And yeah, thank you, Prime Creator. And if those of you watching these channeling videos want to be part of the Creation Temple and the Master Creators, I invite you to join us. You can go to creationtemple.com and sign up as a Master Creator. We meet every Monday, and it's a beautiful container full of a lot of love and power. And once a month, you get to ask Prime Creator a question just for you. So thanks for watching these videos, and I appreciate you all.